So throughout my life, there was one task that I couldn't ever do. No matter the conditions, right? Even if you were to give me like 10,000 bucks to do it, I probably would still fuck it up. And this one task that's so simple yet so not easy used to haunt me throughout most of my teenage life, really. And looking at the thumbnail, you can probably already guess what it is, right? Speaking of girls. Listen, when you look at the version of me from just 2 years ago, does he look like he could speak to girls? I don't think he does, right? I was like a goblin from Clash of Clans. I was 5'4", my arms were skinny as shit. I used to have these giant glasses all the time. I didn't even know how to style my hair. Brother, this is funny, right? But because I didn't know how to style my hair, I used to have like this whirlpool thing going on up here. And it always reminds me of this one sign that you have on chemicals when they tell you to, kids under the age of 3 cannot use this product. I used to always think I looked like that. But my confidence overall was pretty low, so no wonder I couldn't speak to girls, right? However, a couple of days ago, I took a massive trip to a town which I've never been before on my own, right? I took a train which was around 50 kilometers long, and I just had a good time, right? I was exploring and shit, but right as I was about to come back home, right as I was about to walk into the shopping mall, which was like right next to the train station. Okay, so imagine this, right? Imagine you have this training station. Imagine you have this train station, right? And right next to it is the shopping mall, which you have to go through to get to the train station, right? So as I was in this shopping mall, I saw like an 11 out of fucking 10. She was cute, right? That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, it's as simple as that, right? And I wanted to talk to her. But guess what happened when I stood next to her? This guy right here was starting to think like a bitch. My brain just started to work against me, right? I started to get all of the negative thoughts you could ever imagine. You know, at one point, I would start to even convince myself that, oh yeah, I don't even want to do it. Why am I even thinking of doing it? Well, guess what? Because I want to do it, right? So after a couple of minutes of convincing myself to do it, you know, I got the courage, I got the straight posture. I commanded my feet to walk in her direction, and right as I stood next to her, I did this one critical mistake, which literally I'm making a whole video about because it is so simple to, and it's so easy to forget that it can fuck up most of y'all's conversations, right? Let's get back to the story because I walked up to her and I had the whole conversation, you know, pre-planned in my mind. You know, I had this idea that I'm just gonna walk up to her. The first thing I noticed is that she looks cute. So what I wanted to say is that, oh yeah, you look cute. I was wondering if I could get your number. Guess what it sounded like when I actually, you know, got the courage, walked up to her, forgot to do this one crucial thing. Guess what ended up happening? Oh, can I get your Snapchat? Oh, I think you're pretty cute. I'm being dead ass straight, right? I'm not trying to pretend like I'm some, I'm not trying to pretend like I have W Riz or whatever. No, I'm just gonna keep it straight. I got a little bit nervous, and even though I've done couple of launching multiple times, right? It's not like I've never done it. I promise you, it's mainly because I forgot to do this one crucial thing that's gonna fuck up all of you if you forget about doing it. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is. Couldn't have been simpler than that, right? I'm not even sure if you could hear my nostrils from the camera angle, but breathe. Breathe, please fucking breathe. I sound like a fucking idiot right now, right? But this one crucial thing is so easy to forget about, right? Now, at the end of the story, you know, I still managed to start a conversation with her, and at the end of the day, I did manage to, like, somehow get her Snapchat or something. She turned out to be, like, a whole 3 years older than me, right? I'm 17 and she was fucking 20, so I somehow still managed to get the number, but this one thing, listen, it made things pretty awkward at first, right? And if I didn't catch up, I would have probably ended up in, like, a bad situation, right? I would have probably fucked it up, but breathing, especially breathing fully, to your full fucking stomach, it's very important. Now, it's very easy to forget about, right? It's that one type of advice that you always get in the video and you always scroll through it and you pretty much forget about it. But I really want you to remember this because when we get nervous and we're in a situation in which our bodies start to tense up, you know, let's imagine that we're in a scary situation. For example, talking to a girl, right? Now, what's going on in your mind? Well, for most of us, we start to get anxious. We start to get a little bit scared because we know it's something we don't want to do. When was the last time you spoke to a person you don't know out in public? Hell nah. So we start to reflect those negative thoughts we have up here in our external, in our bodies. Well, what goes down here starts to get reflected out there. So if I'm nervous, if I'm anxious, guess what? My body language is gonna start to tense up. Okay, I'm not literally gonna stay like this, but my heartbeat starts to speed up. I'm starting to take much more shallow breaths. Therefore, I'm more likely to stutter and like, you get where I'm going with this, right? But just taking advantage of this and just catching up on that and just taking the right action, which is literally just to take a deep, deep breath to calm your body down, it can make a massive difference because guess what? That fear still gonna be there. Over time, the more you start cold approaching and doing all that shit, that fear is gonna get much smaller and smaller over time. But it's still gonna be there. And just like me, even if you've been cold approaching for quite some time, sometimes you can forget about the most subtle thing ever and you end up looking like a fucking dumbass, right? So I really want you to remember this part of the video. If you were to remember even one word from this whole video, it better be the word breathe. Breathe, please. I'm really trying to help you here. This is the type of tip that's too simple to make a video about, but I need to make a video about it anyways because people always forget about it. Next time you're in a situation in which you get a little bit scared, it doesn't even have to be speaking to a girl, right? Maybe you have to confront the teacher at school because maybe she got your test and she like graded it wrong or something. Maybe, I don't know, you're trying to give a public speech. Maybe you're a YouTuber and you're trying to speak to hundreds of people at once, which is what I'm doing right now. Listen, at first, when you're gonna, this is a random rant, but when you start talking about on YouTube, when you turn on the camera, the first couple of videos, you're gonna struggle to pull a word out of you. But just helping yourself to calm down, taking this one deep, 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 deep breath before you do all of this, it can relax your body very well. That fear is still gonna be there, but it's not gonna have as much control when you are more controlled. Listen, you can't get controlled by your emotion. You need to learn how to actually control them. That's the massive difference, right? You need to do the right thing. Yeah. I mean, I could go on and keep yapping about how you need to breathe, but this is a pretty straightforward topic, right? I just felt like I really needed to make a video on this because this is so important, right? Just please don't forget about this, right? Next time you're trying to speak to somebody and you start to notice yourself getting like a little bit scared, a little bit anxious, take a deep, deep breath all the way to your stomach, right? This is one more random thing before we finish it off, but this is actually important, right? When you're breathing, you don't want your chest to move as you're breathing. No, you want to stomach breathe. I forgot what it's called. It's like a specific type of breathing, right? But all you want you to do is just breathe without moving the chest, but with only moving the stomach, right? This is very important because when you're chest breathing, guess what? It's not really that healthy for you, but when you breathe into your stomach, that's gonna make the biggest difference. Go ahead, try it out. Put your arms like this and breathe so that your chest doesn't move, but your belly does. So it's like, bro, I could literally feel like my dinner from yesterday like moving up in here, bro. I just woke up. And the first thing I did is record a video, but stop yapping. Okay, breathe. Breathe, like, comment, subscribe, and breathe. All right, I'm not gonna waste any of your time. Take care, bro, and I'll see you in the next one.